what is this planet? It is said that in order to extinguish fire, I mean, it's not just something that's said, it's physically proven. In order to stifle a flame, one must deprive it of oxygen. The sun, yes, the ball of light that is visible from planet Earth and that provides the planet with heat and photons. Has, in the history of mankind, been defined as a ball of fire. But what is it really? Because in order to stifle a flame, never mind just throwing water on it to stifle it, because that's obviously that's the more, that's another way to stifle, to extinguish the fire. But given this universal truth, in a vacuum, that is the absence of an environment within which oxygen exists, the propulsion systems that are man-made, i.e. jets, helicopters, cars, and the like, all require oxygen because they're combustion systems. But in space, there is no oxygen. So what is the sun, really? I guess it begs the question, have we been lied to? And if we've been lied to, what else has yet to be revealed? The energy systems that are man-made all require some form of oxygen, because we breathe oxygen, so therefore whatever we make is the byproduct of our breathing in air in order to survive. And obviously a living, breathing human can then create energy systems. But what about the sun? And if the sun is not a ball of fire, and the moon, our planet, the planet Earth's moon that revolves around it, if the moon emits its own source of light, what is the moon? Because I just learned today that bodies of water that are not saline, so therefore lakes and rivers and such, don't have tides. Yet oceans do have tides. Why is that? I typically don't make videos where I pose questions, but I'm going on incomplete data. So I'm trying to make sense and rationalize. with the human mind. What exactly are we living on? What is this planet? I feel cheated. Propulsion systems that are not human can achieve speeds up to double-digit thousands of miles per hour and change trajectory instantly and idle infinitely. The human being does not have that capability with the energy systems and the technology that is currently in place, at least to my knowledge. But I really wonder, in this three-dimensional Earth, if we are really headed towards an ascension, and I'm not just talking spiritual, but a physical upgrade in dimensional reality of space-time, what missing pieces of the puzzle does our collective need in order to bridge the gap between what exists beyond what the naked eye can see and what is currently known in our paradigm of reality and the belief systems that are predicated on physical law, natural law. Physical law, that's the misnomer. Physics and natural law. It just seems very odd to me that every government agency that claims to have intel on UAPs, UFOs, whatever acronym is, going is the accepted standard in current time. That if they know, and I'm going to actually dissolve the separation between they and us and replace it with we. If we know that there does in truth exist technology that is powered by quantum physics, that obeys the laws of quantum physics, then what is preventing humanity as a collective from catching up to the rest of the universe? You know what I mean? I understand the monetary system and the laws of supply and demand and I understand even why the illusion of scarcity was created on this planet in order to ration resources. But if you just take a moment and dispel any notion of what you believe to be true in the areas of science, technology, medicine, architecture, then you are inevitably forced to think of a veil that has been placed over the eyes of the collective. And this veil has been placed over the eyes of the collective for the purposes of using planet Earth as a recyclable node of energy that entities existing beyond the naked eye use to siphon that energy unbeknownst to us. That is why great inventors and scientists of the past and present have been blacklisted and censored and ultimately assassinated. For they understood and understand that there is yet to be a gap bridged between the advances in technology, in human technology, juxtaposed with technology that exists beyond the realm of human comprehension. And that technology that exists beyond the realm of human comprehension doesn't require upgrades, because it taps into the unified energy field where quarks, dark matter live. I am disappointed at the collective. Not because I had any expectations as a child or even as an adult, because I don't. But if you consider the sum total of human suffering on account of having been programmed to achieve success through work, through physical labor. I'm going to get somewhat personal. There's a pregnant woman that was on the cherry picker of a forklift painting the houses that surround this neighborhood, that comprise this neighborhood. You see, in a world where the value of human life is tantamount to the preservation of family lineage, preservation and propagation of family lineage, ancestral bloodlines, then there is no reason why a woman that has a fetus in gestation should be subjecting herself to extreme labor. Of course, that word extreme is subjective, but I digress. Anyway, back to what I am speaking of. What is this planet? Forgive my Sebastian Maniscalco impersonation. What is this planet? I concede to the notion, albeit not provable, that I am bound by the physical senses that are inherent, that are innate within my bodily structure, within my physical, within my living organic meat suit. But I think at this juncture of our humanity, it's a safe assumption to make that whatever exists beyond what the naked eye does perceive within the visible light spectrum of the totality of the electromagnetic spectrum is obscuring us from the truth. You see how there's no real point to this video, because I'm extrapolating information. I'm getting downloads every day from the universe. And I know that there are entities, beings that exist beyond the visible light spectrum, that don't feel the need to prove any point to anything or anyone. Because on that level of quantum reality, all is energy, all is shared, and it's almost like there's like a covenant, like a universal law that is predicated on an understanding that unconditional love and empathy for one another, regardless of the species of life, regardless of the race, which is a social construct that was created by human beings, but regardless the species of animal, race of human, phylum of creature, all life must be unconditionally loved. And so, therefore, when pausing to consider the potential outcomes of this transcendence, of this technological revolution that will result in a net upgrade of the three-dimensional earth within which humanity currently lives as its natural habitat. What if I were to tell you that humanity is approaching an event horizon? It is on the precipice of a quantum breakthrough. I can feel it in my bones. I trust my intuition. May I be so bold as to say that it is the only thing that I have in this physical reality. So, why? I understand the how, but why must we continue to conform to natural law when all these signs, be it through video recordings, audio analyses, photographs, testimonials, hearsay, word of mouth, what have you, are all arrows pointing toward this planet being the 100th monkey? Because those 99 bottles of beer on the wall are all punch drunk with information that the collective is using to usurp the fate of humankind. I understand the fear-mongering narrative of mass media, because it is rooted in control systems. And when a human being is reduced to a monetizable asset class, then it becomes a derivative of expendable energy from which entities that exist beyond the naked eye can and do siphon our energy. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to end this video now. 24 minutes and 45 seconds into this monologue. Thank you for watching. By the way, Disclosure Day, truth hidden in plain sight. So, Mr. Spielberg, I trust that you are being guided by the same non-living and or living entities that exist beyond this dimension, beyond the realm of our physical reality, that are preparing us for what's to come. Thank you.